welcome to Plutus PBL Module 201. I'm Andrew and I'm going to run you through the first lesson in this module. So the first few modules we were looking at some Cardano transactions using Cardano CLI, and you were given an overview of validators on the Cardano blockchain. This module we take a different direction. It's looking at how you would build out a front end for a Cardano application or DApp. We're actually going to be cloning the Plutus PBL.io live site, which we've been using in previous lessons. That will get onto that shortly. Another part of the module is that we will be introducing you to a library called Mesh. Mesh is some great software provided by our friends over there. To overview, it allows you to communicate with the blockchain. So rather than using Cardano CLI, we can spin up a JavaScript project and install Mesh's tools, which can allow us to connect our wallet to the site and build, sign, and submit transactions. But before we get too far into that, we are going to start with the first lesson, which is to clone our own version of the Plutus PBL.io site, as mentioned previously. So, one important thing to note before we begin: the Plutus, the site is built with Next.js 14, which is a JavaScript framework. So that means you would need Node.js installed on your computer. Here's the site for Node. We're kind of taking it for granted that you are familiar with Node at this stage. If not, you can install it from here. So, as well as having Node installed, you are going to need to use Git and GitHub, which is where the repository for the PPBL front end is based. So we're trying to take it for granted that you are familiar with GitHub or Git. So I'm going to run through these steps with you anyway. So first of all, we're going to go to the Gimbalabs repo. Here is the link where we can fork your own version of the repo. Okay, I'll actually present you with the so here is the repo for PPBL 2024 front end, which is what you're using. If you want to create your own fork for that, you can click up here. And you need to make sure that you have a GitHub account and that you are logged in. You will see your logo up here if you are logged in. Perfect. And then you choose to drop down. Now, I actually already have a fork existing, so I can't create it again. But for the sake of argument, let's say I do. I click on that, create fork. That's it. And then if that all goes well, your browser will reload and you will be in your own dashboard with the PPBL 2024 front end repo mirrored there. Okay, so that's all good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up VS Code and we are going to run it in your VS editor. So to do that, quickly go back to step 2. So now we're going to use the command line to clone it onto your local environment. So we're going to run this command. What we need is the URL for your fork of the repo. Now we can get a little trick. Rather than having to type that out, we can get it from here. We don't want those ones out. Copy that. Okay, go back to VS Code. I'm going to write git clone. Okay, and that is going to download the code base into your local environment, into your computer. There we go. Okay, we're going to CD into it. Great. We'll quickly go back to the lesson. So the next step is we're going to run the project. Again, here we're using npm, which is stands for Node Packet Manager. The repo uses a number of different packages to run, Next being one of them, Mesh being another. So we're going to run npm install, which is going to install all of these packages into your local environment. This may take a little while. Okay, so after a couple of minutes, everything is installed. Now you will note there was a number of vulnerabilities. Don't worry about that too much. What it is saying is that some of the packages that the repo is using are slightly out of date. This repo is not going to be going into production. You don't need to worry about it, and it will work on your computer. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to check that it runs. So we're going to go npm run build and then npm run start. Here we go. So we've got Next.js 14 spinning up. Just going to check for any type errors. It all looks to be going well. Excellent. So now the next step is to run npm run start. And we're ready to go. So if you actually just hold Control and you click here, that will boot up your own local host version of Plutus PBL. Check the URL. This is no longer the live site. This is your own version running on your own computer locally. And in the next few lessons, we're going to be changing a few things in here, running some transactions from your own repo locally. Thanks for tuning in.